Good afternoon. I'm Anna Saro from Palantir's finance team, and I'd like to welcome you to our second quarter 2023 earnings call. We'll be discussing the results announced in our press release issued after the market close and posted on our investor relations website. During the call, we will make statements regarding our business that may be considered forward-looking within applicable securities laws, including statements regarding our third quarter and fiscal 2023 results, management's expectations for our future financial and operational performance, and other statements regarding our plans, prospects, and expectations. These statements are not promises or guarantees and are subject to risks and uncertainties, which could cause them to differ materially from actual results. Information concerning those risks is available in our earnings press release distributed after the market closed today and in our SEC filings. We undertake no obligation to update forward-looking statements except as required by law. Further, during the course of today's call, we will refer to certain adjusted financial measures. These non-GAAP financial measures should be considered in addition to, not as a substitute for or in isolation from, GAAP measures. Additional information about these non-GAAP measures, including reconciliation of non-GAAP to comparable GAAP measures, is included in our press release and investor presentation provided today. Our press release, investor presentation, and SEC filings are available on our investor relations website at investors.palantir.com. Over the course of the call, we will refer to various growth rates when discussing our business. These rates reflect year-over-year comparisons unless otherwise stated. Joining me on today's call are Alex Carp, Chief Executive Officer, Shyam Sankar, Chief Technology Officer, Dave Glazer, Chief Financial Officer, and Ryan Taylor, Chief Revenue Officer and Chief Legal Officer. I'll now turn it over to Alex for opening remarks.
Welcome to our earnings. We are at a unique period at Palantir. Through the course of the last 20 years, we built what is arguably one of the most interesting, impactful product offerings in the world: PG, Foundry, our target selection platform, Apollo. Our goal at Palantir was to be the most impactful, important software company in the world, a company transforming Western institutions. And the underlying goal there was to make the West stronger and to make Palantir the most important software company in the world. In a weird way, in the last couple months since we launched AIP, since we had AIPCon, we have seen the way in which technologies we've built that seem to be of moderate utility were built almost in anticipation of the AI revolution, both algorithmic and large language models. And that convergence has remade Palantir, taking Palantir away from its terminal value being it made the world better by making our institutions in the West stronger, more productive, more efficient, in some cases more deadly, to giving us the aspiration and realistic perspective of being the most valuable enterprise software company in the world. We see a market, especially in the US, which is hungry for an ability to apply AI, both large language models and algorithms, to transform our businesses. I believe this transformation will change the GDP of America, and that Palantir will participate in the delta between where the GDP is now and where it will get to, powered by unique technologies that are almost exclusively being built in the United States and are being adopted more rapidly, more efficiently, with more vigor. Of course, there are headwinds. Many of the people and companies who have no product to offer and do not have the technical capabilities to build them are trying to slow down this revolution for the obvious reason that they're not participating in it. And these tools are accelerating innovation, so that if you're not participating, you're literally standing still while everyone is accelerating. And they're no longer luxury products in the way people thought having world-class software was. So buying Foundry appeared to many institutions as, well, of course it's the best product, but it would require us to change how we function or change how we procure software. By the way, the large language model revolution has changed Palantir's relationships to institutions, because we were misaligned for years and years with IT, all globally. We were misaligned with the way in which we thought an enterprise should be run. But the way in which you actually can process large language models to get more exact, more precise, more operationally valuable insights, the way you can actually write them safely into your enterprise, meaning you can control your enterprise, the way you can turn them into logic that allows you to power your enterprise both in a read-write function with governance that is mandated by law or by ethics, we provide. Those ways of working are exactly the ways we always thought one would have to work. But before, the delta was insufficient. And then last not least, there's no roadmap. Palantir is the world's best at no roadmap innovation, products built for a world where things disintegrate and you actually need to do things in the way they would be done in the natural state. So in the natural state, you would have something like Foundry, you would have an ontology, you would have AIP. Institutions in America are going back to their natural state, a state for which we've built products, especially in the US. You see this in Palantir's numbers. So why is that? Because we've built products for the natural state of how an enterprise should work. That state is apparent to people because of the enormous power, the power to accelerate time, change your business using large language models. And therefore, it is something which people embrace. We've now moved from being, and that product, our culture fits both efficiently and in a way that's charismatic to especially U.S. commercial institutions and also government institutions that are realistically aware of the dangers of adversaries who are cunning and exceedingly competent, especially at technology. So this puts us in a remade, transformed position where we can, the aspiration of powering our most important institutions, which is clearly nowhere near done, so intelligence and defense, has gotten us to the point where I think it's indisputable that Palantir's software in that space is the most important in the world. Now, while continuing to focus on that, we can focus on, okay, but given that we've built these precursor technologies, given that our product has moved from being nascent to having thousands of users, the AIP product, given that we believe that the reception to this is unlike anything we've seen in PG, Foundry, Apollo, target selection, and given the receptivity of the market, also not to mention that we have been profitable now, we expect to be eligible for the S&P. For several quarters we've been profitable, that we have over $3 billion in the bank. That positions us to fulfill our new aspiration. It allows us to see in the future how we would do that, which is to simply be the most valuable enterprise software company in the world. And we are joyous for this moment. And thank you for being with us today.